Maria, I'm happy to have you here, and I really want to hear about your journey, how you founded the New Mommy Company, and what brought you here to Oakville.
Hi there, I'm Maria Robertson, and I am the founder and president of the New Mommy Company. Well, first of all, thank you for having me here today, Olivia. It's a real pleasure. I moved here and really was surprised by the lack of availability of agencies and companies for me to work with. And I was a little bit surprised, a little bit shocked, and thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And so a lot of the work that I started to get in the early days after moving here was word of mouth, was friends, was referrals, was my website. And then gradually, slowly but surely, I could see that there actually was a demand. And because that demand started to grow, and within my first 18 months, I was actually turning away more work than I could take on.
That's always a good sign.
It is. I knew at that point that I needed to do something strategic in terms of thinking longer term and putting together a team.
So are your services more of a luxury service?
I guess you could look at us 50-50. We're an essential service or we're a luxury service, and it depends where you sit on the fence. If you have a lot of support, if you have a lot of family, if you have, great resources, then maybe you might view us as a luxury service. But I also know that a lot of our clients will tell us that we are the fifth emergency service.
Right now I want to talk about your most popular service, night nannies.
It is a case of a completely customizable service to you and your needs of your family. So you can have a night nanny once a week, you can have a night nanny 7 nights a week, you can have a night nanny for as long or as short as you want. And so when we submit resumes to you for you to review, you will then invite the people that are sort of most impressive in your mind and bring them to your home, and you meet them individually, personally, so that it's not me or my team who's making the decision on who you bring into your home, but you're actually deciding who you bring into your home.
That's wonderful. I didn't even know it went like that.
Well, it doesn't with all companies, but it's very important to me to do it that way, because it's such a personal thing in your home with what is, to begin with, a stranger. They're not going to stay a stranger for long because you're going to get to know them really well, but at the beginning some people are apprehensive and nervous, which is completely understandable. And so we want to make it so that you feel that you're in charge of the process of who you invite into your home.
Of course, because I've seen videos, I've seen horror stories of nannies or people in daycare, and the parents will set up like a camera, and you just...
Yeah. And if you still want to have a Nanny Cam in your home, then by all means you can. We just ask that you let us know, because it's obviously illegal to film people without their knowledge. So we do have to let our team know if there is going to be a camera in the home. And some clients do and some clients don't. But ultimately we want to make sure that without having to get into the uncomfortable scenario of cameras, that you trust that person in your home. To us, like the fangly bits about how contracts work and all those kind of things, that's not really what people care about. They really care about, is she qualified, is she experienced, will she steal my baby, how do I know she'll look after my baby? And so we try and get that reassurance across in the qualifications and experience per part. And
right. If somebody didn't like a nanny, could they be like, oh, can we try someone else out tomorrow?
Well, that's the thing. So some parents will be of that mindset and they will do a trial of one night and one night only, but usually we tend to find that that doesn't really come to being an issue, because they're interviewing 3 or 4 people, and so by meeting 3 or 4 people, one person will just, will shine.
Stand out, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just about trusting your instincts, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you do need it.
Precisely, and that's one of the big messages we want to get across to moms, is you don't have to be a hero. You don't have to be, sort of feeling like you have to do it by yourself. There's lots of help out there. Everybody's willing and able to help you, but unfortunately we see so many moms who say, first time around, I just wanted to do it by myself. I just wanted to be the hero. And nobody's going to give you that medal. And the way I would look at it is, you need to look after yourself before you can look after everybody else. And sometimes that means getting somebody to look after you.
What about the new moms that are obviously overwhelmed? Their expenses are going through the roof. They need help, but don't think they can afford to come.
Well, we're always very open to talking to people about what their circumstances and their situation are. Our minimum during the day for 4 hours of postpartum support is only 4 hours. So you could have that once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month.
So you're open to working with people's schedules?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So now I want to ask you, Maria, if there was another job you could be doing, what would it be and why?
This will probably make you smile.
I'm already smiling, but if it can get any bigger, it probably will.
I was obsessed with becoming a pilot as I was a teenager, and it was something that I was dead set on. And so, because I grew up in Ireland, I was waiting for Aer Lingus to call for new pilots, and I was waiting, and I was waiting, and I was waiting, and the call never came. And so, nursing was obviously something that I, had a really strong interest in, and wanted a real strong foundation. And that was obviously a really great basic education to start off with, depending on where you were going to go in your career. And so I applied for nursing in Scotland. I got nursing in Scotland. I was all packed and ready to go, and I was 2 weeks away from leaving. Bags are packed, I'm ready to go, I'm moving country. And the call came. And so it was the hardest decision I've ever made to let that go.
You made a judgment call.
I made a judgment call. I love to travel. My husband and I love to travel, and I get to travel a lot for work, which is great. So I kind of feel to some extent that I get some of the benefits. But yeah, that was a really hard decision for me to make. So had nursing not, come off for me and, those kind of things, I probably would be flying a plane right now. No, I think I'll stay with my feet mostly on the ground.
Instead of in the air. That's a cool feeling. Awesome. Thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you.
And if you guys enjoyed this interview, please give it a thumbs up. If you have questions, maybe Maria will answer them, or you guys can help each other out by commenting below in the comment box. Take care, and we'll see you next week.